Tonight's bold accusation, Jodi stabbed first. Tonight, 12 jurors here in studio, and you, our virtual jury at home, will decide if Jodi Arias is guilty of stabbing Travis first before shooting him in the head. Jodi Arias testified that she shot Travis first in self-defense. Tonight, I'll prove to you, our virtual jury at home, and our in-studio jury, that Jodi is guilty of stabbing Travis first before she shot him. You'll hear testimony from the medical examiner, and I'll take you back to the scene with my experts who will show you the forensics prove Jodi stabbed Travis first before shooting him.
I have no memory of stabbing him.
As he sat there, she took the knife and began to stab him and stuck the knife in his chest.
As that camera was falling, that was enough for Travis, because he lunged at Jodi in anger.
I closed my eyes, I think, as the gun began to go off.
He struggled. He grabbed the knife, the big blotch of blood that's there. And that's where the slitting ear to ear took place. He was more likely than not dead at that point. He didn't need that shot to the head.
I grabbed the gun. I ran out of the closet. He said, "Kill you, bitch."
There was a struggle. Jodi's life was in danger.
He got like a linebacker. He got kind of low and grabbed my waist. He went like that and he turned his head.
The shot to the head, would that have been rapidly fatal?
Likely would have been, yes. There's a bullet going through the brains.
Is that an indication that the person was already dead?
They may have been, yes.
All right, let's start here, 5:30, because this was the picture of Travis Alexander obviously sitting in the shower. We don't know if he's alive or dead, but a minute 44 later, we know he is dead in this photo. So how do we get from here to here? What's your theory? And tell me why you don't believe he was shot first and was stabbed first.
My theory here, there's one of two ways that we can look at this. Either Travis was down in the shower on the floor, Jodi enters the shower, and over his shoulder begins to stab him in the back. That group of stabbings is so tight in his back, he has to be in a confined space.
Like a shower?
Or shower, or on the floor where he's in an asymmetrical position where he's able to be dominated. Now, the other theory is that he could have been rotated so he was facing away, hands maybe up. She comes in and begins to attack him from the rear with a knife over and over and over. And he's aware of this. He rotates back around in order to defend himself. And we have defensive wounds on the hand. He grabs the blade. She pulls it out, sticks it in again, pulls it out. And the next time, she nails him right in the chest. Wow, right into the vena cava, major vessel in the heart, and he begins to bleed out internally. Human nature kicks in at this point. He's trying to put as much distance between himself and his attacker at this point. And it's at this point he could probably go no further. Remember, he's been stabbed.
When you say go no further, you mean he's on the ground.
Right,
yeah.
And he's on the ground. He's face down.
Exactly. What about the slit throat?
Well, what I think is that she moves in for the kill at this point. She's left-handed, so she's going to cut his throat. She's above him. Remember, she's a tiny woman. The weight of his head, the weight of his neck is going to help facilitate the depth of this cut.
That cut, the testimony says, was 3 to 4 inches deep.
Absolutely.
Bottom line, guys, we look at the forensic evidence in the hallway, the bathroom. Does it tell you stabbed first or shot first?
For me personally, it tells me he was stabbed first. It was a sharp force injury that started this whole thing in motion. I think the shot comes later.
This is how the shooting happened. Travis started coming out of the closet. Jodi had the gun. The gun went off. It shot him in the head.
Okay.
It went in his temple, into his cheek. She freaks out. She drops the gun. Travis is still coming at her, but then he staggers over, leans against the sink, and starts spitting the blood because the blood's in his oral cavity and spitting it in the sink.
So he's coughing it out here.
He's coughing it out. The knife is on the counter. Jodi grabs it.
Where does he go next?
He starts coming after Jodi. He staggers back, starts coming after Jodi, gives him the blow, hits him in the heart. Travis is still coming. Jodi's stabbing and slashing.
So this is where the defensive wounds come from.
That's where the defensive wounds come from. He's still stabbing, he's staggering, and Jodi's stabbing him in the head.
So he's going down, she's getting him down
She's
here.
stabbing him in the back of the head, starts stabbing him in the back, he staggers and starts heading down the hallway. And then he ends up down there where his throat gets cut.
Okay, now, I want to show you something else. What about the bullet down here on top of blood? What does that tell you? Because the prosecution says that means he was stabbed first.
Well, it doesn't mean that because the bullet, just exactly like you said, the bullet's on top of blood. It's not in blood. If it would have landed in fresh blood, which it would have had to if he were stabbed first, the bullet would be down in the blood. It would be stuck in the blood. If you look at the pictures and if you listen to the ME, The bullet is sitting on top of dried blood.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I understand you have reached a verdict. Let's read them out one by one. Juror number 1, not guilty. Juror number 2, guilty. Juror number 3, guilty. Juror number 4, guilty. Juror number 5, guilty. Juror number 6, guilty. Juror number 7, guilty. Juror number 8, guilty. Juror number 9, guilty. Juror number 10, guilty. Juror number 11, guilty. Juror number 12, guilty. So we started out with a not guilty, and then it was guilties down the line. Why do you say not guilty, juror number 1?
Jodi stole that gun from her grandparents' house. She brought it with her. She intended to kill Travis. Why grab a knife when you've got a gun right there? She shot him. It didn't incapacitate him. She freaked out. That's when she grabbed the knife, panicked, and stabbed him 29 times.
Okay, that was the defense's argument right there. Let me go over to juror number 7 over here, who says guilty. Why?
Plain and simple, I don't buy it. Evidence shows that the gunshot was last.